Hello and welcome to the Women's Cut. I'm Jay. That's C-Way. Let's get started. How are
Hi
you
guys.
doing today, girl?
Outside of this tornado coming through Chicago, messing through my travel plans, I guess I'm fine.
Girl, it's a lot. Trees were down, sidewalks was torn up, and then literally 2 seconds afterwards, beautiful, sunny, 87 degrees.
And now we're back. So hopefully I can get to my good friend's graduation at some point. So
Yes,
yeah.
we must celebrate Black doctors. We must celebrate Black doctors. What's your friend's name? Let's shout her out.
Her name is Miyata Williams. She is now a professional put you to sleeper, okay, anesthesiologist. So she's the closest thing we got to Jesus, her and Pilot. So look.
Come on. Black excellence is dripping. We love it. We love it.
That's my mama telling me that the flight is canceled. Yeah, Ma, I know. She's like, canceled. Yeah, I see.
You're not going. Mothers love that.
She gets my alerts.
Speaking of mothers, my mother was courtside yesterday for the Seattle Storm game. She's in Seattle because she just be out here. She's fully retired and traveling. She's sending me pictures like, guess where I am? I was like, where? She got a picture of Flo J just bringing the ball up the court. I'm like, so we just in courtside like it ain't nothing.
How was the game? Did she say it was good?
She said she enjoyed it. It was her first game. So we went to Sky Games. We've been going to Sky Games for a while. And I think her first one I took her to was during the playoff run in 2021. But she's just a huge sports fan. That's where I get it from. If it's a ticket in a city for something she's never done, for a venue she's never seen, she's going to go. So she had a great time sipping courtside.
Okay.
Much like another friend of mine who was sitting courtside for a very recent Dream versus Sky game. How was that?
Yes, I was at the Dream game, aka the Sky game, I guess. I was sitting courtside, and boy, did I have an absolute ball. Not only was there dubs in the chat for the Dream, it was just a good time. The love that Angel got coming back was amazing. The t-shirts, the posters that I saw, there's definitely was a lot of love in the building for Angel. The Sky definitely tried to give a better effort this game, the game, but it just wasn't enough. The Dream ended up, taking over in the final minutes of the fourth quarter, but it was exciting. Yeah, I had a great time.
It was a good game. I definitely was on the bully brigade to get you into the building for sure, because I was like, somebody has to be there. Your girl was out the paint. I was on auntie duty, so I was out the paint for the game. But I'm so excited you got to go. I did watch the game, and when I tell you, you could tell that Chicago had a battery in their back to try to beat Angel. Because she came here before for preseason. That's when they did the whole thank you video, even though I personally think they should have waited for their first regular season matchup to do all of that, but it is what it is. I think that they had the battery in their back, and I think Angel had a battery in her back too. So it was a good game to me. 17 points, 17 rebounds, second straight game with 17 rebounds. Chicago tried so hard to keep Angel off of the offensive board. She only got 5, but then they let her get 12 on their end. So
the type of boards that she was grabbing were just acrobatic. And Camila Cardoso actually had a phenomenal first half. Not sure why they kind of stopped going to her in the second half and what happened there, but Camila was also cooking, having a great game on her end, and they kind of went away from her, which helps the Dream. So not sure why they did that, but definitely the Sky looked better than some of their other showings, but just not enough to take over a team that definitely could be contenders. And so I definitely enjoy being there. I will say that the arena is still, it's not the same since Angel left. There was a lot of empty seats. There were still chants of sell the team. They tried to get into the game because it was a really close game, but you can definitely feel the air that's kind of been taken out of Wintrust. And I'm not sure what it's going to take to bring that energy back, because the air was definitely out of it.
to their credit, Rakia definitely helps them out. Earlier in the season, she was putting butts in seats because people really do like Rakia. They liked what was going to be happening. They were very excited. And I think that when she went down, it took a lot of the wind out of fan sales personally. And when you don't have somebody who's as big as a draw as Angel, it definitely, and Wintrust ain't that big. Like when you don't have butts in seats, it shows.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, there's definitely teams that are still selling out arenas that don't have big ticket stars, but they're playing a great brand of basketball and they're kind of giving a team effort. I just think with the things that the Chicago Sky have done, what Andrea say on ESPN, just being an unserious organization for years, really the only thing that was kind of holding them together after all of their championship stars left after the 2021 championship was Angel. And I think when she left, Rakia was being a stopgap, just holding it together temporarily. But when she went down, they're definitely it definitely just wasn't the same. What I will say is, as a person who's been around Wintrust for a minute and remembers the impact of Courtney Vandersloot and Allie Quigley, I have to say, to hear Courtney Vandersloot get booed, and no, they were not doing salute. I know the difference. To hear her get booed, there's just been a lot of water under the bridge, and I think there needs to be some deep reflection. Do I think that's going to happen? No.
Bringing it back to what you said about the first quarter, Camilla has been playing extremely well, and she played really well with Angel. She played well without Angel. Camilla's like the type of player that's going to get her points. She's going to get her rebounds. She's going to show up to work. She's going to go home. She's not going to do none of the extra stuff. She don't want to talk to the media. She don't want to do none of that stuff. She's going to show up to work. She's going to go home.
Yeah.
On this team, she, to me, is the only player who should probably be getting any All-Star votes. And as we know, All-Star just opened. The voting just opened a couple of days ago. And I don't know if Chicago Sky are going to have anybody on the team. Camilla, to me, is the only player who's been carrying her lunch in every day. But who are your early All-Stars?
Yeah, and we could go ahead and pull it up. I think we actually had similar All-Star votes. This is my first set of votes for the guards. As we continue to vote, I'm going to have to switch them up a little bit. But for the guards, I have Alicia Gray, I have Paige Beckers, I have Kelsey Plum, and I have Ryan Howard. I think as I vote again, I'm definitely have a nod for Brittany Sykes, a nod for Olivia Miles, and a few other picks that I think are very deserving. But this is just my first set for guards. And then for the front court, I don't think my front court's going to change too much. I think this is probably going to be my consistent front court. I may add in Aaliyah Boston. I may switch her in perhaps, but I have Angel, I have Asia, I have Jessica Shepard that really has been balling. I have Natasha Howard has been balling.
Mm-hmm.
NECA and Brianna Stewart, who's been doing great in New York. And so those are my bigs. I think the bigs, I don't think it's going to vary too much from these. I think these honestly have been the front court that has been balling. But what about you? What do you have different?
Okay, I have a couple of different things here. You know how much a fan of that I am of Young and Turnt. So I had to throw somebody on the Mystics on here. And I wanted it to be Sonia. I really wanted it to be Sonia, but the guards are just so difficult. So for me, Brianna Stewart she's carrying New York by herself right now.
Yeah.
And I do think that should be rewarded. So as I vote, I'm going to be switching in. I'm going to be switching in Stewie. So Angel Reese is your rebounding leader. So you have your rebounding leader, your points leader, your assist leader. Natasha Howard is just having a career resurgence year. AT, she's on a losing team, but again, she the one holding that team together with glue sticks at this point. And for my guards, Alicia, we had this conversation earlier, is my favorite ethical hooper. She just goes to work, high shooting percentage, doesn't complain. Olivia Miles is just playing out of this world right now. Yeah. And my thought process is, if I know not all these people can start, but I'm like, Paige can play a 1 or a 2. So we're thinking of all-star lineups here. Olivia Miles would be my starting point guard. Paige would be my 2. And then Plum gonna have to come off the bench for me. But
crazy to say, that's the amount of talent we're talking about.
Crazy to say. But that's why I went with the choices that I went with.
And I really love, I don't even know how I literally left out one of my favorite players, AT. That's embarrassing. I'm definitely going to have to add her to
rotation.
Yeah, my rotation. And I definitely love what Shakira is doing on the Mystics. So I said I may not switch too much, but I completely tweaked. AT and Shakira, definitely want to give them some votes. Look, one day we'll have media votes. Shoot, maybe we'll have it this year. We don't know. And so if we do, then we'll definitely let you guys know, who we have on our official ballot. But this is our fan voting ballot, and so we're excited.
When I tell you, I was looking at these forwards like, how?
Yeah, the guard situation is really sticky because, who I didn't have on. I mean, we're talking about, I also didn't have Kelsey Mitchell on my list. She's deserving, Sykes. Marina has been
Enrique is going crazy.
Enrique's been going crazy. So there's a lot of guards that I want to include.
So. It's hard. And this is what I will say. Enrique might actually make my cut, because when Enrique is all-star, Enrique is absolutely,
and she puts on a show.
And that's what you want. You want a show. You want to be able to go. You want to watch a show, because this is what it's supposed to be. And the same thing can be said about Kelsey. Like my favorite clip of last year was Kelsey riding Asia all the way down, and Asia just said foul. So you want people who are going to be able to put on a show. Speaking of a show, my favorite crash out, and her counterpart in Slim put on a really good show. Brittany was sitting, dropping 38 points, sipping a Coke on the sidelines like it wasn't nothing. But Marina had a couple of crash outs in that game.
Yeah, Marina did. But, when you're talking about the fact that this Toronto Tempo Connecticut Sun game went into OT, Marina Mabry and Brittany, Brittany Sykes, they were going band for band. But Brittany Sykes actually was the player of that game. She had 38 points.
And a Coke
at halftime. Brittany. Like, I don't want to play against nobody who almost drops 40 on my head and drinks a Coke at halftime.
She said,
but let's talk about Slim real quick. You dropped, 38 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, because who you passed it to? You the bucket. 2 steals, 1 block, 55% from the field, so you're ethical with it. And then you drink a Coke you're scary.
Slim is a very low-key ethical hooper when we're talking about those, because, again, I don't understand how she's able to be so fluid getting to the paint. Maybe it has to be her build. Like she's
strong and she's very athletic. I mean, You're talking about her athleticism and her she's a strong build. But Marina also had a pretty solid game. She had 21 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, because who is she passing to as well?
They probably passed to each other.
Yeah, and so Marina had a great game, but she definitely had a little tiff at the end of the game with Diamond Miller.
That's what I really want to talk about. I asked you and I said, did she leave? Like, did she have some beef with somebody in that locker room?
No, and Diamond,
Diamond don't seem like the type to me. So I don't know. Maybe it was just Marina plays with a chip on her shoulder. So she really don't care who could get it. Anybody could get it.
Diamond did smack the ball out of her hand.
She did.
And, Marina just don't take no disrespect. I don't know why she did that, but the thing is, Marina's like a true. I don't think she's a Sag. I gotta look up her birthday, but she reminds me of Sages. Like we can go off one day on the court, and the next day they like, oh, you got beef with so. Well, I'm like, no.
It reminds me of her in court. Court was like, what did I do?
Yeah, we good. It's just Marina is all on court stuff. But she was ready to get run. She was ready to run up. Now, will she get done up? That's yet to be seen. But she was ready to run up. So.
That's true. But she is a Jersey girl, so
yeah,
they be ready for that smoke. Their whole family is ready for the smoke. So
yeah,
I honestly think that if push come to shove, she would go. Now, would she win? I don't know. But she wouldn't. I don't think she's gonna back away.
And so today we also have some, I know it's not on our banner, but we do have some really great games coming up today that by the time you guys see this, I guess we can talk about the outcome of it. But the Chicago Sky are playing the Fever at 6. I think that's going to be really interesting. I will be watching the New York Atlanta Dream game because, of course, we covered the Dream. I want to see how the Dream match up against, some other big dogs. I definitely think the Dream will pull that out. And then the Wings are playing the Mercury. The Wings, they need to kind of have a comeback. They just got smacked recently, and so they need to come back.
Schedule has allowed them to play really hard teams and then play against teams that are not as difficult in order to get right. And it feels like when they're able to get right in a game, that game after they do well, but when they have to play like hard talent game
back to back,
it feels like, I don't know if they run out of steam or if it's because they're not able. Because I remember Coach Sinesco was saying in one of his press conferences, they were asking about what the schedule is like when teams travel, and his answer was that they don't get as much time together when they travel.
It's hardly no practice,
right? So I think that Dallas suffers simply because they seem like they are really tight when they practice.
Right. Okay.
And then when they skip a practice, it's like they're not retaining whatever it is that they're supposed to retain.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens with the Mercury, because I think the Mercury are a little better than what their record shows.
Yeah.
And so when you have, a lot of veteran players, the Mercury is a team where it doesn't matter what their record shows. They're still not a team that I would want to take for granted.
Yeah.
And so I think the Wings are going to have to work really hard in that game. And then you have the Aces versus the Fire. I wish Kennedy was not hurt because they like to run and Kennedy will run with them. But I'm not too concerned.
Good?
Huh?
Is Portland
they
good?
just what they say, hard work beats talent when talent don't work hard. That's Portland. Not saying they're not talented, because of course they're in the W, they're talented. But
Portland's the most try-hard team.
They're try hard. Yeah. And you don't want to meet, like, if I was playing, I would be like, every time I see Portland on my schedule, I would be like, dang.
Yeah.
They're going to have me running.
That's the reason why I really like the Valkyrie, because they're number 2 try hard, but their talent matches their try hard, which makes them that much more dangerous.
Yeah. But people kind of caught up with the Valkyries, and so they're not a mystery. They're not catching anyone slipping, and I think that's what's going on with them. Now that, people are prepping for them on the schedule, and so, you're not going to catch anyone lacking.
That's true. But if Burton is on, that's a very difficult if Burton is hitting her shots and also facilitating like she has the power to do, that's a very difficult team to beat. And I'm just trying to figure out what is up with Dallas. Do they have too much talent? Like what is with the up and down?
I don't know. I don't really know. I think you have to keep in mind, this is a very new team. That, like, the team, there's some continuity, right? You have Paige, you have Arike, you have Maddie. But if you think of like some of the biggest pieces out there, you have Jessica Shepard, that's new. Clark is new. Odyssey is new. AZ is a new rookie. I'm just thinking of the people who are really in the rotation. There's a lot of new people.
Yeah.
And I just wonder sometimes, like you notice with the practice situation, when they don't get a chance to really kind of be glued together, do things kind of fall apart. But with them, he has a lot of options on who he can go to. And I wonder if that also makes it a little complicated, because when you can choose between Lee Yarou, or do you want to go with Alana Smith, or do you want to go with Jessica Shepard, or do you want to go with, who do you want to go to with the guards? Do you want to play Odyssey more? Do you want to play AZ more? You want to play? He has a lot of choices. And I think on some teams, for example, like the Dream, their starting 5+2 are going to play most of the game. Their starting 5+3 usually is going to play most of the game. I think he has a good problem where there's a lot of people, but he's kind of plugging and playing he literally can play that bench to the end.
Yeah.
He can literally run his bench from number one to the end. And so I wonder as a coach if that makes his job easy but hard in certain games.
Yeah. There's also something to be said. I love making analogies to other sports, but early in the season for younger teams, baseball managers will be moving chess pieces a lot. And then they calm that down as the season goes on, because they've figured out where people fit.
You see that, people's minutes.
I wonder if we'll start seeing more of a calming of what he's doing, or more things are a little bit more specialized when he's doing his plug and play based on the talent. I don't know, but I just feel like Dallas should not, and they're not doing bad, but I just feel like this team shouldn't be dropping some of the losses the way they've been dropping their losses.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I don't know how much he's going to slim down on his talent, though, because he has so many pieces that may work better for different matchups.
Yeah,
and so I think it's going to be difficult for him to slim it down too much, because there definitely may be a game where you want to go with Maddie, and there may be a game where that it may not be her game. You want to go to somewhere else. So, or maybe he will. Anyway, we'll see. But I think the Dallas are fine.
Who else is fine right now? Olivia Miles, and there has been a lot of speculation as to if she's going to be the first player since Candace Parker to get MVP and Rookie of the Year. How do you feel about that conversation?
Yeah, MVP and Rookie of the Year. Well, you're gonna still have to beat out the best player in the world, Asia Wilson, for MVP. Kelsey Plum is having a hell of a year. There's a couple people having a hell of a year, but so is Olivia Miles. I definitely think that Olivia's not the only one. I think college is something. There's something about college that may not even be doing these players a service, because there's players who go to the highest level, the W, and look even better. I don't even know if Olivia looked this good at TCU.
That right there is the thing. Everybody remembers how big a deal it was that she went from Notre Dame to TCU. I think she did a graduate. She had to apply for another year of eligibility. She went to TCU, and everybody was chalking it up as Hannah Hidalgo ran her out, right? And I think that it was just very hard on a team that has Hannah Hidalgo for Olivia Miles to run the show like she needed to run the show.
And pick up the leadership skills. And I think that's what she kind of talked about. The talent was already there after 4 years, after her time at Notre Dame. But what she didn't have is the ability to lead, the ability to take all of the stress of whether you win a game or lose a game on you. You see, Hannah has that at Notre Dame now. Now that everybody cleared out, whether they won or lost was on her. And we saw that in the tournament. And the same thing for Olivia, whether TCU won or lost was on her. And I think what that did was prepare her for the W, and for her to be a point guard and with a very established team and a Hall of Fame coach. And so for me, I was very surprised that Cheryl went with Miles over Betts, just because I know they needed bigs.
Mm-hmm.
But what she's been able to get out of Natasha Howard, and what she's been able to allow Olivia to shine and do, alongside amazing vets like Courtney and Caleb McBride that have really just leaned into her talent. The fact that the Minnesota Lynx are at the top of the league without fee,
Yeah.
Shout out to Olivia. Shout out to Cheryl Reeves. Amazing. I definitely think she's in the conversation though. Olivia definitely is in the conversation for both categories.
And I think that we had this conversation too about the situation that Olivia came into is literally the most fertile soil in the WNBA that she could have landed in, because she has every type of vet that she could possibly have. In fee, she has an extremely hard worker, extremely dedicated, extremely barrel focused. In court, she has somebody who's more nonchalant, still a good worker. As we know, she's the best mid-range shooter in the game, and she worked at that. She did that on purpose. So she understood how to highlight the best part of her game and work on that one thing. And she had a vet who was willing to give up her spot at playing. She's been playing the one for 3 years. She was willing to give up her spot. Obviously, 2 is her natural position, but she's willing to do that in order to make room for her. And I feel like her not having to have the mental work of being a vocal leader, she can just come in and learn and play. That is I think that fosters it, because it reminds me a lot of when Candace Parker came up and she came to a team that already had Lisa Leslie. And Lisa Leslie could have said, nah, young girl, I'm not going. But we already know what Lisa's personality is. She's not going to be that type of person.
The more the merrier. She's
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. And I think you need that in order to succeed. Asia is still Asia. She's still out of this world. She's still dominating. She's still leading forwards on average. Her shooting percentage, I don't know how it goes up, but every year, but it does. And I think that she's the one to beat, as always. But I think Olivia deserves to be in the conversation for sure.
Yeah, I agree. So shout out to Olivia, and shout out to the people around her, like we talked about, that really have also, instead of looking at her as a threat, have looked at her as an additive. And that says a lot about those women and just a lot about her. And so I am happy for her. But Olivia Miles is 11th in scoring, which is not the whole story. But I know they look at that heavy when they're talking about the MVP.
Yeah. But
I mean, I'm saying they do. They do. Unfortunately, they do. And so
I feel you.
They do. And so it's Asia Wilson and Kelsey Plum, and then Brittany Sykes are your points leaders for right now. So
Kelsey Plum is having an MVP caliber season as well. Absolutely. I think the ankle injury, it's all, what are you doing for me lately? And I think the ankle injury took her off of people's radar a little bit for right now. It's a long season. I just think that you have to look at her position, because without Olivia Miles, would this Minnesota team, and I trust Coach Reed, and that's the reason she got her. But if she did not have Olivia Miles, would this team still be in the same position that they are? And I can't say that they would be. And that's what an MVP is.
Yeah, in my opinion, in our opinion.
Well, in everybody's opinion, a very crazy finals game happened yesterday where the Spurs blew a 30-point lead going into the fourth and let the Knicks.
They start blowing at the third quarter. They started letting them come back at the third. They're crazy.
Yes, but it could have been, once that break comes between 3 and 4, you gotta lock in. You lock it. You get extra time on purpose. That's when you go in the huddle and be like, look, y'all.
I don't know what's crazier. De'Aaron Fox's last minute decisions at the end of that game, or the fact that the coach never drew up nothing to stop the bleed. I mean, and somebody said this is the reason why I watch the WNBA, because I ain't never seen no goofy stuff like that before in my life. I also haven't seen nothing that goofy in my entire life. I mean, I'm happy for the Knicks. Like, they've been trying to do this for 100 years.
I just want Spike to get a ring. I want Spike to get a ring.
Look, they've been trying to win since the
Nixon administration, girl. It's been a while.
It's been a long
while.
I'm happy however they did it, but I do For me, I could put that on the players because you're supposed to have some type of a situational awareness about what's going on.
It's fine. I have this question for you. Is it the coach or the players? And I get what you're saying about the coach, because my instructions would have been, do not work into any offense before it says 10 seconds on that clock.
It's a coach, because if the coach would have just did that and said, look, we're running the clock out and we only need twos. We only need twos. I know you were hot the first half. You're not hot now. I want you to drive to the basket and get fouls. Even if they drove to the basket and started getting fouls, that would have stopped something. Yeah. I mean, the reason why they end up losing is because if you're shooting within the first 10 seconds, shooting threes, now you're bricking, the ball is going the other way. Yeah. It's going the other way. Threes
are long misses. Threes are long shots and also long misses. That's the thing that they tell you that all the time. The spacing was terrible. I don't understand what was happening. I'm like, Wemby is 18,000 feet tall.
Yeah, that was just asinine. I'm not gonna lie. But on a positive note, I love to see the small guards getting love. Jalen Brunson did his thing, and OG and an OB. You're not getting paid enough. You're getting paid, but I need you to get paid more for what you contribute. He needs to get paid more, because Mikal Bridges, they sold their firstborn son in 10 billion picks, and I actually really like him as a person, but I'm just saying, OG saved the day. But anyway, we'll see what happens for game 5. It could be over, friend.
It could have been over if they didn't let that orange man come to that game.
It would have got swept.
They would have gotten swept. They could have won it in New York. Imagine that city. Had they swept and won yesterday.
Oh, it would have went crazy. And honestly, I wanted them to win at home, but for them to win at home now, it would have to go to game 7. No,
it would be 6. Isn't it 2?
Oh, because it's about to bounce. It's about to bounce. Yeah. So for them to win at home now, it would have to be game 6. They should just win on their court and call it a day. But
they don't have to win on their court. And I was thinking about how embarrassing it would be if you invited that man to the game to sit in that box, or that man came to the game, however he got there. That man came to the game, sat in the box, and then New York lost every single game after that. That would suck.
Yeah, but there were some people, there were some praying aunties and some people who
said they were saging. They said they saged outside.
They literally saged the whole building. Yeah. They weren't playing. That's how serious it was. That's how the demonic energy, it really sticks to you. So to the praying aunties,
had a praying grandmother.
The praying grandmas, and everybody who be doing the seances with whatever else.
Yeah, they said we gotta cleanse this energy. And I also think it's gonna be more embarrassing if they win every game except for the one game you went to and fell asleep.
I already know, because they had to put some holy oil on Madison Square Gardens. They had to put some holy oil on it. They saged it. No, it was for real. People was really out there saging it because they knew what it was. You got to get that energy off of you.
Speaking of good energy, the Pope's favorite team is number 1. The White Sox.
Ain't the Pope from here?
Yeah. And guess what baseball team he loves? The Chicago White Sox, who are number 1 in the AL Central, baby, for the first time in 5 years. We lost 121 games. That's too many games to lose. We lost more games than anyone has ever lost in the history of Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball been around since the 1800s.
They was handing out them tickets outside. I remember.
Yo, it was back in the day when it was terrible, and you would get like 8 free tickets for Succeed.
They were begging people to come there. But people were still coming because the food be good and the vibes be good.
Food is good and the vibes is good, but it'd be like 10,000 people. 10,000 people. And it seems 10,000 seems like a lot, except when it's supposed to be 35,000. Then it does not seem like a lot. But I went to I missed this call-up game. So I went to Munetaki's, which is our Japanese phenom, who even in injury might still be a shoo-in for Rookie of the Year, unless Braden Montgomery, our newest rookie, my gosh, I'm going to set the scene for this theater. Then we're going to move on.
Wait, but you need to talk to us like we don't know nothing because we don't, most of us. Who do we need to know on the White Sox?
I'm gonna tell you. So Munetake Murakami, he is number 5 in the Chicago White Sox. He's Japanese, like Shohei Ohtani. He grew up idolizing Shohei Ohtani. He was the home run leader in Japan. It means great player. Every team in the Major League Baseball passed on him. The White Sox had the last option. Every single one said he's not going to be able to hit Major League pitching. We don't want him. The White Sox signed him to a 2-year deal. And he, until his injury a couple of weeks ago, led Major League Baseball in home runs. He had 20 home runs. The fastest Japanese player to 20 home runs in his first season. He'll be back at the end of All-Star. He'll probably still be an All-Star because Japanese fans do not play about their players.
When is All-Star?
All-Star is July. It's usually around July 4th, so it should be right after July 4th. I think it's like July, right before WNBA All-Star.
Does he play any positions in the field, or he just a hitter?
He plays first base, so they'll first base them. But when he comes back, he'll probably be DH because it was a hamstring injury, and you know how hamstring injuries work. They don't like for you to be doing
what's DH
stuff. Designated hitter. So a designated hitter is the person who only hits the ball. They only hit the ball and run the bases. So you ain't got to do no extra work. So the White Sox are a very young team. I believe they're the second youngest team in Major League Baseball. Everybody is young. Everybody is a rookie. We had a guy, his name is Braden Montgomery, a black kid. Gotta love a black kid in baseball. Number 2 prospect in the White Sox system. He came up 2 days ago, friend. And you know who Bob Costas is. I feel like everybody should know who Bob Costas is. If you don't, if you heard his voice, you would know who he is. He calls baseball, football, basketball. He does everything. He's legendary. He's in the Hall of Fame. He is not from Chicago. He is the international whoever. He was here just to do some random promotion that they had going on. And Braden Montgomery, his first game, bottom of the 10th inning, extras. Last strike, the White Sox are down. It's 4-5. White Sox are down. He hits a walk-off home run in his first MLB game.
Period.
What theater? So my White Sox are on time. And not only did that walk-off put them number 1. So he knocks them into the number 1 spot. The White Sox we saw what happened with the Pope's favorite football team, the Chicago Bears. So I'm not calling nothing.
So I guess everybody but the Sky is turning things around. So guess what, White Sox? Look, the women's cut, you have a huge baseball fan here. So we would love to come in and support this.
At your girl. Because when I tell you the way I was in my house screaming.
I know you were.
Oh my gosh, you can't tell me nothing about Chicago's best baseball team. So it's the
if I may. So we would be remiss if we did not mention the legend, right? One of the best announcers, Chicago Bull, Stacey King, who unfortunately passed a few days ago. And I gotta say, as a former Bulls season ticket holder, and I used to watch the Bulls religiously, I just loved his commentary, especially when someone would hit a three. He would say, "Oh, from downtown, from Oak Park, from Oak Brook." I used to be like, "Yes."
Let me hit him with the hot sauce. Let me step back.
He was the best. He made it so entertaining. Honestly, I don't even know anybody doing it like how he did. And so this was sad. This is very sad.
It was hard, especially because it was like out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like people get sick and then they step away from it. It was none of that. And Stacey King made a lot of very bad Bulls games enjoyable.
Exciting.
And Derrick Rose released like a poem, like he had kind of written a poem, and I thought that was a really good touch because I can't think of Derrick Rose and not think of Stacey King, because majority of us were not in like, you go to a couple of games. If you're a season ticket holder, you might be there, but majority of fans are sitting at home and they're watching.
Yeah,
and that announcer is so important to all of that. Like, too big, too strong, too fast, too good. Like, I remember that. And the game where Derrick Rose hit like the game winning shot and they're carrying him, and I hear Stacey, and it's just that's how announcing should be. Like, that's how you should feel. Like those announcers are a very big part of you as a sports fan moving forward. Obviously he was a champion with those 90s Bulls team. One of my favorite Stacey King memories was him fighting Dennis Rodman. When the Pistons used to get in there, Stacey was Mike's protector. They would throw him in there, and they knew that Stacey was about to throw them hands in protection of the star player. So yes, definitely for sure.
A legend. Yeah, he won't be replaced, but we definitely want to mention that because he made a lot of our lives happier listening to him and the way he called these games and yeah. So anyway, rest in peace to Stacey.
For sure. Now, to end on a lighter note, your girl Seaway finished her second half marathon.
Yes.
Her first half marathon since injury. I'm really proud of you, friend. You were out there.
And thank you for coming.
Obviously.
Yeah. This is my second half marathon. Bank of America half marathon. I trained with the Peace Runners, who partnered with Bank of America to help many people like myself run the West Side, the best side. Okay, there's no debate there. And so yeah, it was a tough race. It was really hot. I think a lot of people mid race had to adjust their expectations not to fully break down and be sad, because it's hard to PR when you're trying not to be in the ER. Okay. You can't PR and then end up in the ER. That's how hot it was. And so that became my goal, that I wasn't going to be in the ER. I was going to cross the line on my 2 feet unassisted. I did get a PR for my race from 2 years ago. And so it's just onward and upwards. I think this running community is amazing. I love seeing so many Black people, Hispanic people, just the community running out there. And I just love it. We're getting healthy. We're moving our feet. We're moving our body. We're exploring the city on our 2 feet. And so, yeah. And I just want to say thank you to all of the people who support Women's Cut, myself, my personal platform. They have been cheering me on as I've documented this running journey. And crazy enough, it's not over, because I am going to be running the full marathon in October in Chicago. And somehow after that, I'll be running the New York Marathon. And so I've never ran 26 miles before, and I'll do it twice.
And you're going to do so well. I'm going to come. I'm going to show up there. I'm going to cheer you on. It will not be. This marathon was hard. Like, I was standing at 13 miles and I saw some crazy.
I
was over here like left and right, because that's like right at the end, and people are listen. One of my sister's friends, who is an excellent runner, he's also a Peace Runner, Wallace, shout out to you. He PR'd and ended up almost in the ER. And he finished in, he had to stop 4 times and finished in 1 hour and 35 minutes.
He got a hell of a time.
Crazy. You know how crazy fast you're running? But what I will say about this marathon is I was there when it started, and the speed with which the professional runners run, I was not prepared. I've never been at the start of these races. I always go to the marathon and I'm somewhere in the middle and I'm waiting on my friends. So it's not like they're in the beginning of the pack. He finished that race in 1 hour. Like, the winner finished in 1 hour, and he looks like he was sprinting.
His average pace was 4 minutes and something over the course of 13 miles. So he was sprinting. That is literally a sprint.
Crazy. The first, I have a video of the first two women, the ones who finished after him. They finished 10 minutes after him. One was like 1:10, and the other one was like couple of seconds after her. And I'm like just watching them go past, it was like legitimately like, y'all are sprinting and it is hot.
Sprinting.
So shout out to runners, y'all. I ran the Shamrock Shuffle the one time, and I crossed a half marathon and marathon right out and off my bucket list. I just removed.
Did you run it this year? The most recent?
No. This was a couple of years ago. But as soon as I finished, I went up. I have a typed bucket list, and I went to that line and I said delete.
Oh, well, it sounds like we got the backspace, undelete.
No, we gonna keep it on Control X or Command X. We go.
TikTok shuffles is honestly my favorite though, because it's the best run. It's the best weather to run. I mean, sometimes it's a little cold, but that don't stop no show.
I was about to say, most runners would rather run when it's a little cold versus when it's as hot as it was, and it was sweltering. Prayers out to anybody in Chicago who's still dealing without power. I know a couple of people who don't have power right now. Speaking of sweltering conditions, but yeah. So let's wrap this up so you can go home, catch that flight, friend. Maybe.
No, yeah, not today. Don't look like, but yeah, I will be rain or shine. Look, I will be there to congratulate and celebrate my friend for an amazing accomplishment. So hopefully we can get there. But yeah, I don't think there should be too many people mad at us. We didn't have too many people in the cut. This is all love, this episode,
except for the Spurs.
The Spurs, they need to be mad at themselves and mad at that and mad at their coach, because if you blow a 29-point lead, we are the least of your concerns. But anyway, yeah, but just be happy that you made the cut. Please celebrate and watch us and support us on all platforms. We love y'all. Bye.
Like and subscribe.
Chicago Clubhouse Network production.